Job interviews. It's not something you're made do so someone can get an assessment on how qualified you'd be to work in a particular environment, but more so a demonstration you have to put on to show how low you're willing to stoop as a person in order to get a job. And you do this by blatantly lying to their face, only offering them answers they want to hear to their ridiculous questions. Seeing as I've done plenty of interviews in the past, and lied my way through them to get the job, I thought it'd be fun to interview myself with these stupid questions you get asked, but only answer these questions honestly. Let's see if I get the job.
That's life. That's life. That's what all the people say.
Could you describe yourself? Easy. Jobless. Next question. Why are you the best person for this job? At what point did I make that statement? Out of 7 billion people on this planet, do you think that I think I'd be the best person for this job? I'm not even the best person for this job in this fucking room. Describe your career goals. To have a job where I make enough money that I never ever have to worry about paying my bills again, and to not have to work under somebody who thinks they're the Lord fucking Master of the universe just because they manage a small shop in a small town. Do you prefer to work alone or in a team? Oh, alone, man. I fucking hate people. You do realise this is a customer-based job, right? Oh, don't remind me. If the people who knew you were asked why you should be hired, what would they say? He don't have a job. Describe a very difficult experience you've had at work and how you handled it. My boss was being a cunt, right? Like every day would find something, anything, he could use to give me a good talking to, no matter how fucking trivial. Okay, and how did you handle it? I fucking quit. What am I supposed to do? Tell his managers? They'd fucking love him for that. What is it interests you about this job? The money. It's all anyone's interested in. If you think your current employees are loyal, why don't you just stop paying them and see who turns up in the morning? Let's be real here. It's the same reason you're sitting here interviewing me and not sitting at home thumbing your todger. Have you ever had difficulty working with a manager? When have I not? Most managers are arseholes. Cretinous cunts who have perpetually pursed lips from kissing ass to get where they are. The kind of cunts who seem to have no idea there's a world outside them shop doors. My god, if I had my own YouTube rant channel, I'd make a video on these cunts alone. What have you learned from your mistakes? Never work in retail. You'll just fill your CV with retail experience and you'll never be able to get a different job when in a few years you decided you fucking hate it because you have no experience in anything else. Why did you leave your last job? Because I spent far too long in it, to the point where I began to realise I was going nowhere fast in life. So I quit and applied for this job, which is essentially the same thing, but by changing my surroundings I'll feel like it's progress and it'll buy me some peace and quiet from my own thoughts, until over the next few months them thoughts will start to creep back, once my brain realises I just pulled the wool over its eyes, when in fact nothing has changed. What relevant experience do you have? It's all on my CV, mate. Right there in front of you. Unless you're only asking me because you think I lied on my CV. Because you'd be right, but I'm not going to tell you that because I won't get the job. What's your greatest strength? I'm so magnetic that customers will just want to throw money at me just for my sheer presence. No, it's sarcasm. My greatest strength is sarcasm. And what's your greatest weakness? Dealing with people, taking criticism. I have a problem with authority. I'm always complaining about shit. I'm irritable. For some reason, I'm always tired at work, but I'm fine when I get home. I hate being told what to do. I hate being told what not to do. I stand around talking so I don't have to do work, but at the same time, I'll criticise my co-workers when they're not pulling their weight. I sleep in far more often than most people. I ejaculate way too fast the first time I fuck somebody. I have a very serious addiction to energy drinks to the point where I've grown very dependent on them. Even when I know I'm wrong in an argument, I'll still be defensive. My upload schedule. I treat every customer I meet as an idiot until proven otherwise. I'm not emotionally available enough, which causes problems in my relationship. I never know how to properly flush a Johnny after I use it because it just keeps floating back up. I've spent a worrying amount of time of my life watching porn. I always take an extra 5 minutes on my lunch because it's a small enough amount of time nobody notices. I strongly dislike the South African accent. I can't taste the difference between tap water and bottled water, which I didn't think was a weakness, but people kept saying there is a difference, so I don't know. I honestly don't care what way the word "your" is spelled in any context, and I never really quite know how to end a video.